Sardinia. A rally I learned to admire a lot. Welcome to this country guide. As a stage for setup, I recommend Ala del Zardi, as it combines fast and tricky bits on highest difficulty. It is a long stage, half of the total length here. I feel you could also take either a short version of this one as well. There are shorter cuts of this to get into the rhythm quicker, but only this 18-kilometer stretch combines all of the challenges faced in Sardinia. Though it is honestly more of a use as a training ground rather than to fine-tune a setup, because the default setup is already what you need here. Sardinia is like the more serious version of Sumatra. And as I said in the Sumatra guide, there are many contradicting challenges here. You can't really optimize for any without making others more difficult. The only change I'd do is to touch the dampers and give them some more functional values. Something like so. But that depends on personal preference. All other settings can remain at default. Let's talk about driving challenges then. What are those contradicting things? Now first, Sardinia has a bunch of high-speed sections, some over banks, compressions and crests, a bit similar to Finland. But it also has a lot of technical sections, ones, twos, 90 degrees and hairpins, often between rocks and cliffs or fences and trees. Then there are short sections of tarmac and a small selection of jumps. There is the difficulty of going uphill 1 minute and downhill the next, and that the side of the road is often so rough and rocky it requires flexible suspension to cut some corners. Other corners shall never be cut, because there might be a cliff drop or some rock to crash into. Lots of corners are blind and require sharp listening to your pace notes. There is a unique arena section with somewhat lacking visual guides, which makes hitting the best lines there difficult. Or there are areas with a high cadence of different corner types one after another. The driving rhythm changes over time. And depending on weather and time of day, Sardinia creates lightning scenes where it becomes very hard to see from one moment to the next, either if you drive into light or into shadow. All of these have been covered and tailored for in other guides already. But here these challenges appear all at once. So your car is optimized for none of them. It is the precise challenge of Sardinia here to adapt and handle them all at once in a compromise. I have learned to admire this rally because it feels much different to previous depictions of Sardinia in any other rally sim. Here it reminds me a lot of Greece from the original dirt rally, when it is dry, but when it is wet, it suddenly reminds me more of the original Wales from the first dirt rally. And since default setup is already a good compromise, it makes it a good proving ground to try out new vehicles. Want to try out a new car in a difficult place to see all its handling characteristics? I'll usually go here for that. It's not the absolute most difficult rally and doesn't exhaust you mentally like some others. Yet it has so little room for error that it still yields this incredible feeling of accomplishment whenever you nail a fast run on this island. All this makes it a favorite gravel location for me, one that I visit over and over again for this greatly composed package. I guess this was less insightful than some other guides, especially if you struggle with Sardinia in particular. But there is no magic bullet here, except for practice. Hope you still enjoyed this episode. Until next time. when we'll visit Col de Torini in the French Alps. Tranquil madness.